Hello, everybody. I am the Dawn Alchemist, and we are back 24 hours later with our soap. So, this is the first time I am looking at any of this, so you're going to see my live reaction as it happens. Let's hope it turned out okay. I think we're going to unveil these embeds first. So let's have a look. I don't know how it turned out. It might be okay, but are we going to get something good? Not too bad. I don't mind that. If I waited 48 hours, this one I probably should wait a little bit longer. Look, I might see how soft that is and pliable. So what I might do is wait a little longer. No, I shouldn't need to. I don't think it's going to change. It's just because of how I did the mica. So what I did was I painted mica and oil on the bottom of these of this silicone mold, and I left it. Now, what you're going to notice, here's where I made a little bit of a stuff up. See these little pockets here? This is because I got too excited, as you saw in the previous vid, and I didn't bother. I didn't bother. I went a little bit too far, and I blended past trace. That's actually not bad. That'll be a cute embed for the next one. So you can already have we already had an idea of the color scheme I might use. This is not as nice, so you can use. What I could have done with this one is instead of using just mica and oil, I could have actually gotten the soap colors and tried it that way. It's hard to do, and it does take such a long time that, yeah, it's one of those things that is cute. Only worth doing if you feel like taking a long, long time on embeds, which I don't. Now, judging by how soft this is, I'm a little bit nervous about looking at the soap because I have a feeling it's going to be very pliable. This is already, you can tell look at that. This is pretty much soap dough. You can mold this into different things. Soap dough using soap dough is a technique in on itself. I'm going to place this over here. My table is very clean, so it's okay to do this. And I would highly suggest that you keep all your equipment and your work surfaces clean and free of anything. Well, do not eat anywhere near your soap making area. All right, now this little bit of coloration at the top here, this opaqueness, very easy to get rid of if I used an alcohol spray. I didn't really feel like it. I'm not too bothered by it. It's one of those things. Oh, geez, this one is a little difficult to remove. Yeah, so as I was saying, now I've seen some people who like to make soap in their kitchen. If that's all you're doing in your kitchen, go right ahead. But if you're ever going to prepare food there, no, don't do that. Why? Because the last thing you want are food particles that are going to stay in your soap, considering the fact that this takes a month to cure. You can imagine how gross that would be. And not only that, it is so easy to mix your tools up. So with the blender, can you imagine using that for food? That's gross. So don't risk the mix-up. Don't do it. Okay, so you can't really tell much. Oh, actually, this is hard to not. This soap has a very strange consistency. I haven't encountered this before. But this is all about firsts and exploration. I don't know how to feel about this. See how soft that is? I could have been patient and given it some extra time. But no, I decided not to because I am not that type and I hate waiting around. All right. So, the big reveal. Now, what am I going to call this baby? what do the colors remind me of? I mean, first thing I thought of was Onyx, but then, it's black Onyx, but then it might get mixed up with a Pokemon. Maybe we call it Onyx. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of, what does it remind me of? Pyramids? I'm so not very creative when it comes to naming and anything really. Yeah, let's call this one Onyx. Why? Because I use black Onyx mica, which I've never used before. That was the first time using it, and I think it looked kind of cute. Now, I always get rid of the first little tiny bit of my soap, simply because I don't want to, I just don't like the unevenness of the ends. Hey, that's not too bad. That gold did something pretty cool there. Now, the reason it has this wave pattern is because I did not blend it after adding mica. If you can remember what I did in the previous video of just stirring it with a chopstick, that's how some of the mica ended up, a little concentrated in some areas and dispersed in others. And that is why I have that really cool sort of gold effect. Now, this might take a little longer to cure, or to harden, I should say. Damn, you know what? This is a lot better than I thought. Check out that little black Onyx. The thing with mica is that sometimes, when you get mica in a packet, it looks pretty nice. But then when you use it in soap, sometimes the result is not as, it differs. And you've always got to take that into account. Like the golds, for instance, they're not going to appear metallic once they're mixed into it or properly blended into a soap batter. You can get the metallic effect by doing what I did there. Because, you still have a little bit of oil remaining mixed in with the mica, so that's why that metallic effect comes out. The black Onyx, however, I thought that was going to look like absolute crap. Not crap, no, that's being harsh. Okay, no, I'm going to be harsh. I thought it was going to look like crap. I thought it was just going to be this greyish blob. But it's kept the nice little sparkles, and it's kept its little, that little metallic quality. Yeah, I think it's pretty damn nice. I don't mind it. Turned out a hell of a lot better than I expected. And that's the fun thing about soap. Sometimes you get a fantastic result, and sometimes it just, you botch it up and looks terrible. But yeah, this one's not, even though I went crazy with the, you saw what I did. I over blended it, and I started to panic a little bit. But hey, you have redeemed yourself, and you look pretty damn good. Now, with this one, as with every soap, we're going to leave it for a good month to completely, or for everything in here, all the oils to completely saponify. We want to make sure there's no sodium hydroxide remaining to irritate our skin. That is why I'm using gloves to cut this. I use gloves anyway because it's a hygienic thing to do. You don't need goggles at this stage, but the reason why I'll be very careful, even one of the big things is cleaning. So, if I go to wash this right now, I'm definitely wearing gloves simply because there's a lot of unsaponified oil remaining in there. That means I might react with it. Now, in saying that, I should have worn a long sleeve shirt in my previous video. I do wear long sleeve shirts when I'm creating the lye water, but I've been doing this for so long that when it comes to blending my soap, I'm not too concerned if it splashes onto my forearm. I do wear goggles though when I'm making soap. You just don't see it because, hey, you can't see my face, can you now? But yeah, it's all about protecting your skin. And I think I'm pretty happy with this batch. So what's going to happen is I am going to put this aside somewhere. A little trick is to get a Post-it note or something similar and write the date that you made your soap. You know, if you're not into, like, I love keeping batch records. Well, I do because I do sell some of these soaps. But if you're not really a big fan of batch records and all that sort of stuff, at least get a Post-it note with a date. The reason you want to do that is, well, it's easy to lose track. You know, life happens, time progresses, and we kind of forget what we do when we do it. So yeah, I don't mind that. That is pretty damn cute. And hey, I will catch you in the next one where we may use these embeds. I'm not really feeling the purple, but we'll see how we go. Catch you then. Peace out.